Inequalities are solved the same way equations are solved. Inequality means instead of an equal sign, you have one of the four inequalities. Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And again, you solve them the same way. I have a -6, so I need to add 6. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other side. +6 + 6. Y is less than 9. On a number line, I represent that with an open circle. Equal to's would be a full circle. Less than 9. I put an open circle on 9, and less than is this side, so I draw the arrow going to the left. (5x - 3) is greater than or equal to 4x + 2. My first step is to combine like terms. I choose to move the smaller of my two x's. 5x, 4x, I'm going to move this one. It's positive, I move it by subtracting 4x, subtract 4x. That gives me 1x, because 5 - 4 is 1. 1x - 3 is greater than or equal to 2. I add 3 to both sides. My final answer is x is greater than or equal to 5. Because it's greater than or equal to, I have a closed circle, and x is bigger, so this side is bigger, my arrow goes this way. The rule that's different, inequalities are different from equations when you are dividing or multiplying by a negative, and then you flip the sign. So that's what this circumstances is. -4.2 times x is less than or equal to -29.4. To get rid of -4.2 times x, I'm going to divide both sides by -4.2. Since I'm dividing by a negative, my sign switches. Then again, I graph it the same way, or equal to, so it's a full circle. X is bigger than 7, so bigger than goes this way. -4c is less than or equal to 5c plus 58 all divided by 6. My first step is to get rid of this fraction. Get rid of it. How do you get rid of divide by 6? You times by 6. Times both sides by 6. That's going to give me -24c is less than or equal to 5c plus 58. Those 6's over here just canceled out. The fraction went away. Now I can combine like terms. This is smaller. I should have moved this, but if I moved this, I would have had nothing over here. So I moved this guy. I subtracted 5c from both sides. These canceled out. -24 minus 5 gives me -29c is less than or equal to 58. I divide both sides by -29. When I divide by a negative, my sign's going to switch. My final answer is c is bigger than or equal to 2. And I graphed that over here. Full circle, arrow going bigger than. Now the last page we have here is some vocabulary. The answers on the previous pages have all been in inequality form. X is less than 0, x is greater than 0, x is less than or equal to 2, x is greater than or equal to 8. This is the form you're familiar with. These are two new forms. Set notation is the set of x's such that x is greater, which is less than 0. This one's read, the set of x's such that x is greater than 0. And it continues down. So set notation is really not very different. The only thing you have different are these brackets and then an x and a bar. But then you have the same inequality. Interval notation is a little different. Interval notation refers to kind of what this would look like on a number line. On a number line, if x is less than 0, you would have had an open circle on 0 and an arrow going this way. So interval notation says what's the smallest possible value? In this case, the smallest possible value is negative infinity, and the biggest possible value is 0. So that's what interval notation is, the smallest possible value and the biggest possible value. You use parentheses when the smallest or largest possible value is not something you can ever equal. In this case, because there is no or equal to, your value can never be 0, so I use a parenthesis. When it can be equal, down here I've used a bracket. In this case, x is less than or equal to 2. So the smallest possible value, again, is negative infinity, and the greatest possible value is 2, which it can equal. When x is bigger than a number, x is bigger than 0. Here's my parenthesis 0. It's not or equal to, so it's a regular parenthesis, comma, infinity, because if it's bigger than 0, it can go all the way up to infinity. Down here, x is bigger than or equal to 8, so my lowest possible value is 8, and I can equal 8, so I put a bracket, and then I have positive infinity with a parenthesis.